Hey hustlers, this is Candace here with Pretty Rich Hustle. Today I have a special guest that I am honored to interview today. We're here at KW Commercial Clear Lake. Her name is Chaundra Hugel Broughton, and she is the director here of the commercial division. Y'all already know how we do it. We go right into it. I allow the guests to introduce themselves and tell you exactly who they are. Let me welcome Miss Chaundra Hugel Broughton to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I am so excited, like honored. You just have no idea. So tell the guests and the viewers a little bit about who Miss Chaundra Hugel Broughton is.
Wow, that is a loaded question. So as you said, I'm actually the commercial managing director here at KW Commercial Houston.
Okay.
I've been here for about 5 years, a little over 5 years.
Right.
I do oversee the commercial division here, and also I've been in the business specializing solely in commercial real estate for over 20 years.
Wow. So how did you get started in commercial real estate? Like, what brought you into this hustle?
Literally met my boss in a bar in New York City.
In New York City?
Yes. So
Okay.
I was living in New York. I was a general manager of a restaurant bar, and I was looking to change careers. I didn't like the hours anymore, and I started taking the real estate classes. Not sure what I was going to do with it.
Right.
Didn't really know anything besides the fact that I had leased a lot of apartments in New York, and I thought there might be a better way.
Okay.
But I actually had a client or a customer at the bar, and we got to talking.
Wow.
And he kind of offered me a job, and it just happened to be that he was in commercial real estate. So all the stars aligned. And
Wow. See, you never
so
know.
it was an accident.
You never know. Sometimes they say just being in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
You never know how it may navigate your future. So what do you specialize in? So you're in commercial real estate.
Mhm.
What's your specialty? Like, do you have a specialty that you focus on in
Yes.
commercial real estate?
So I specialize in industrial and industrial land, particularly owner users.
Okay.
Also with a focus on supply chain logistics and manufacturing companies.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so here at KW Commercial Clear Lake, oh my God, I'm so super excited to be, like, I literally sit in the office with you, and it is such an honor. I have learned so much since I've been here. The last few weeks. I think it's been about a month or so.
Not bad.
And so how is it here? Like, are there people that you oversee? So, because we're talking the real estate lingo, but some of the viewers may not understand. So what are some of the tasks that you have? Maybe some of your daily activities. I see you on the phone all the time. Like, I'm surprised I was able to get you to sit down for a little bit just to have this interview, because you're a super hustler. Again, I learned so much. I love just hearing the phone calls and the Zooms, and because I've been in the game, but not in the game. So, I'm making some changes in my life, and it was an honor, just to find out, okay, Chaundra's in Clear Lake. So, me and you met about 6 years ago, had no idea that we would cross paths again, but God is super, super good. So tell us some of maybe your daily tasks, or what a day in the life of Chaundra looks like.
So I do juggle several hats throughout the day.
Okay.
I do have my own transactional business, my own clients. So I am, dedicating quite a bit of time, obviously, to their needs, property searches, tours,
Okay.
negotiations, things like that.
Right.
But then, of course, in the managing director role, I'm overseeing, we have about a dozen agents here in the Clear Lake office that
Wow.
specialize in commercial.
Right.
And ultimately, I am, the one that's putting in processes and structure to the division so that we're doing things, at a really top tier level,
Yes.
making sure that the agents are educated, they're up to date with any changes, any laws, or, political things that might be affecting real estate,
Right.
as well as just being there for all the questions, mentorship,
Right.
coaching. You touched on, just sitting here amongst it. That's how I learned.
Right.
I
Right.
sat in an office that was a bullpen style. So I got to hear every phone call, and I got to, hear all the questions that got fired across the room.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the most effective ways to learn this business, is just to immerse yourself in it, almost like osmosis. You just absorb it. Because no two transactions look alike. So it's not really something that we can teach in a book.
Right.
Or with a video.
Okay.
It's really something you have to kind of see all angles of.
Right.
We come up with some really creative solutions to get things done, and those are the kind of things that you can't necessarily teach until you're in the moment or going through it yourself.
Skin in the game.
Exactly.
I always talk about skin in the game, and structure most definitely, because I have an issue with time management. So since I've been here, you've definitely helped me with that. You stay on point, like as far as your schedule go. I love how you move. I love how you stay organized, because again, just watching you, it helps me perfect my hustle and what I'm trying to do here. So saying that, so how long have you been in the industry? Did you say that already? You mentioned
just over 20 years.
Just over 20 years.
September was my 20th anniversary. So I actually do operate mostly under KW Commercial. Also, our supply chain group is SCLM Companies LLC. Right. And then also I have a team that is HB Commercial Group.
Right. So tell us about SCLM. What is that? Because I know you just said that, and people are probably going to be like, what is SCLM? So can you explain a little bit about? Yes.
So SCLM launched in January of 2025.
Okay.
It is a nationwide consulting group. It's agents that came together, and we specifically target and help supply chain logistics and manufacturing companies, and that's where the SCLM comes from, supply chain logistics manufacturing. So we are essentially working with those types of companies to see what their real estate needs are. It can be an acquisition, it could be leasing, it could be downsizing, it could be just trying to find a facility that better helps maximize their efficiency.
Okay. So let's educate the viewers for a second. What is acquisition? What does acquisition mean?
Acquisition means they're looking to purchase a property.
Correct. Awesome. All right. And you also have disposition.
Yes.
Which is?
To sell the property.
Okay, then. Come on, Miss Chaundra. So your mission, or what is one of your biggest goals, can I say, or like the biggest mission of what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Again, there's a lot of avenues. So obviously in my transactional side, I want to make sure that I'm helping my clients to the best of my ability. Right. Obviously with SCLM just launching, we're really looking at building that company up and helping as many companies as we can. But then also on the managing side, it's more of I'm looking to kind of broaden my reach education-wise. Okay. I'll be sitting for the CCIM exam in April. So I'm looking to become more involved in that organization, especially from an education standpoint.
Right. CCIM is huge. Like when you become a part of that organization, you definitely know you're rolling with the big dogs. But I did a video before our interview, and I kind of edified you a little bit, and I was like, she's the boss's boss. So this is what I mean, people, when I say the boss's boss. So Chaundra, can you tell us about a few achievements that you may have accomplished along the way? I know you have the launch of the SCLM that you guys started. Any achievements or awards you've received since you've been in the game?
Well, I've consistently been a top producer here at KW, but also at companies prior. I've served as the regional ambassador for KW Commercial for the Texas South region for the last 3.5 years. So I've basically been the liaison between KW Commercial headquarters and then also all of our offices in the Texas South region. So onboarding new agents, being kind of the point of contact with questions between agents, members, management, leadership. So I think those are all accomplishments I'm proud of.
I think so too. So the boss is boss. So when you said one of the top producers, we don't want to get in your business, but we do, because this is Pretty Rich Hustle. So can you share with us like maybe what one of your years have looked like as far as volume goes? or do you want to keep that
We'll keep
personal?
that personal.
Okay, we'll keep that personal. So, what are some challenges that you have faced along, trying to get here at this present time? Are there some
Oh,
challenges?
wow. This whole business is a challenge.
Okay.
I would say, obviously, it's not something that I've let stand in my way, but I am a woman in a very male dominated business. And that's not something that's ever scared me. I'm one of 4 kids, and all my siblings are brothers. So I think it didn't intimidate me, but it doesn't mean that I haven't seen the bias or had to deal with some of the attitudes that I've received. I would say the other challenge is this is a tough business. Right. Like I said, most of our solutions have to get real creative. There's not really a playbook to do this, then this, then this. I always say it's not if a deal goes sideways, it's when. Right. And it's how to react to that, how to keep everybody calm, how to keep, everything trying to be a win-win situation for all the sides involved. And and I would say also learning, I'm much better at time management now. I am definitely guilty of working harder, not smarter, for a lot of my career. Right. Which over the last few years, I've really focused on that and refined that, because it's very difficult to scale. It's very difficult to not burn out if you stay in that type of hustle. Right. So you have to really flip your mindset. You have to really choose what you occupy your time with and what you are able to delegate out. So that has probably been the challenge that I keep having to work on. Right.
Well, I hear you on some of these calls, and you don't play, honey. You talk about it being male dominated, but you are not a poodle in this game. You're a big dog. You're definitely a big dog. So, is there anything that you would do different?
I think I would try to have worked smarter, not harder, earlier.
Right.
That whole, are you working on your business or in it? It takes a while to let go of control. It takes a while. And even when you do let go of control, it's going to take some time invested to get somebody that you trust, that you train up, that is doing things the way you expect. I love to say you always have to inspect what you expect. Okay. And I think I would have, if I had done that a little earlier or done more of it earlier, I think I'd be a little bit further along.
Gotcha. I think that's very key. And you said something huge, trust. Definitely trust. You have to have trust when you're dealing with a partner or a secretary or an assistant, or just trusting people with your business, because you're still an entrepreneur, even though you're here partnered with KW Commercial. So what advice would you give up and coming entrepreneur or realtor or someone who wants to step into the commercial real estate lane?
It's not something that you dip your toe into. Okay. It's something you got to go all in. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of aspects. There's a lot of nuance, and it snowballs once you get into it. Right. So it is going to take a time commitment. There is going to be some sacrifice. There are going to be some early mornings and some late nights. We try to stay, like I said, as disciplined and structured as possible so that we don't burn out, but don't expect it to be easy. Yeah. It takes a while. Trust is a very big thing in this entire business. Your reputation is huge in this business. Mm-hmm. So building that little by little, like building a strong foundation, is really where success starts in this business. Right. Trying to fast track that or take shortcuts, it might bring, reward earlier, but it won't necessarily be a strong foundation that you can base your reputation and your business on later.
Okay. And you have some new agents that may be looking to get in the business. Would you recommend that they start as soon as they come in, or do you recommend that they start on the residential side? Because they're two different animals.
I do not believe that you have to do residential first in order to then move to commercial. Okay. I went straight into commercial, never touched a house.
Wow.
And I think it can actually hinder you a bit if
Okay.
you do that, just
Okay.
because it is a different lingo,
All
a
right.
different approach. So
Okay.
you'll, in a way, have to unlearn a lot of things if
Okay.
you do make a switch. That being said, I've had some people come in saying that they're very interested in commercial, but it does take a good year to 2 years to really establish yourself and start making any money on this side.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's going to hinder you from going into it, then I say yes, go to the residential side first.
Right.
That is something, those contracts turn around a lot quicker. So that might help on the financial side. I do recommend that if you're going to do that, if you can focus on investment sales on the residential side. So think of your single family home rentals,
Mm-hmm.
where you're working with clients who are buying things not to live in.
Gotcha.
So that emotional aspect's a little bit different. They're going to look at it from how much income it's going to generate. So working with those types of clients, that'll be an easier transition over to the commercial side.
And you talked about emotional.
Mm-hmm.
So, they say that commercial is non-emotional. So can you just tap into that just a little bit and kind of differentiate what that means as far as it being non-emotional on this side versus the residential side?
I mean, we have some emotions on our side. They tend to be anger, frustration. I mean, you will have the emotions on the commercial side, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to a numbers game, a business decision.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the emotions get tempered a lot.
I got you.
Whereas on the residential side, the emotions are running very high and can influence and sway numbers. Where on the business side, emotions don't usually sway the numbers. So, and you just have to be ready. You're going to look at a lot of properties. Your clients are going to consider a lot of properties that you'll spend a lot of time and energy on. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You put it down and you move on. Right. And so you can't get emotional about, oh, but I worked so hard on this. Yes, but it's not going to work. So let's
keep it
pivot.
pushing.
You got to pivot.
That's it. Pivot. That's one of my favorite words. And so I think where the non-emotional, if I could add to that, comes in, it is like you were saying, most of the clients that we have on the commercial side are investors, and they never actually live in these properties.
Never.
When you're dealing with residential, there's emotions attached because this is a family home, or this is maybe a family home that's been passed down, or there's some sentimental value, or we're looking at the countertops and the tubs. Whereas with a business space, you can kind of more create that space for you in your business. So I think that is some of the emotional things that kind of aren't on the commercial side. And so I have one more question for you. Would you recommend that a residential agent who does not know about commercial real estate go and try to walk a commercial deal? What advice would you give that agent?
I would not recommend that. Obviously, here in Texas, TREC has rules about agents, and also nationally, we have rules on compliance and competency. So if you're not competent in something, the last thing you want to do is learn at your client's expense. That's not doing your fiduciary. Yeah. So I would highly recommend getting a mentor that's going to be invaluable both to your client, but also to you as someone who's now learning based. You're going to learn a lot more, a lot quicker by having someone who's experienced that can walk you through it, hold your hand through it, answer all your questions. The knowledge you'll get is invaluable, and your clients will appreciate that you made sure they were protected at all costs, and that they were getting the highest level of service, because like I said, you can't learn at your client's expense. Right.
And at the client's expense, how damaging can that be?
Very.
Gotcha.
I mean, these commercial deals can be larger deals. So, and there's so many areas that could lead to litigation. There's so many ways that this could, there could be issues. So, and it could be, not saying any would be intentional, it could just be an oversight, and it can be it could be a catastrophe. So
A catastrophe for sure.
yes.
Well, I know you're super busy. And I want to thank you so much, Chaundra, for taking this time out and dropping some nuggets. Because again, I know who I'm sitting next to. And like I say, you're a big dog. You're a boss. I don't mind paying homage. I don't mind giving people their flowers when they are due. I don't know if you get them enough, but you do so much. You give so much. You pour out so much. And you're everything that you have, you deserve. Everything that's coming for you, you deserve. Again, thank you for the opportunity. And can you just tell the people how they can reach you if they may have a commercial deal or need a mentor or
Of course.
Uh-huh.
So best ways to reach me is my cell phone,
Okay.
which is 917-743-6241. I'm still rocking a New York City number.
All right.
And my email, which is my first name, Chaundra, CHAUNDRA @kwcommercial.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I know you got to get back to work. All right. Thank you, Chaundra.
Thank you.